Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. So victory is an act of defeating the enemy or an opponent, right? That's what it is. When you're a victor, you've won a battle, you've won a war. You know, we could dig into that one, right? Voluptuousness means curvaceous, sexually attractive, pleasure-loving, characterized by luxury or sensuality. Vigilant, right? Vigilant. Oh, velocity. I didn't do velocity, did I? Vigilant is keeping careful watch for possible danger or difficulties. So I'm going to connect all of these together, and I think I have an important message. I know I've got an important message. And for all of you who, let's just say you have a voluptuous figure, this is for you. And I want you to listen up because this is really important. Now, we get victory, right? We understand about defeating the opponent, don't we? We do. I mean, if you've ever played on a sports team, you know, have you suffered defeat? Have you tasted the spoils of victory? Have you felt that way? And you know the difference between victory and defeat is just grand and huge and large, vast, immense even. Big difference. We all love to win. We all love that feeling of putting in the hard work and getting and ending up with the winning part. It's fantastic. But I'm going to tell you right now that when we defeat the opponent, with the part that I'm talking about, sometimes the opponent is us. Sometimes defeat and becoming is defeating an old habit and becoming victorious on the other side of it. I want to use this and apply this on how we need to be looking at it, right? This is how we need to be looking at things. So all of this becomes a reality too when we start becoming vigilant with our time. You know, we can start sorting all these different things and keeping this and tossing that. I just finished up my dresser this morning. You know, I put off my dresser. Do you understand how this is? I put off cleaning up my dresser because it started to get a little messy and it started to get a little bit, things didn't go back where they were supposed to. If you open the drawers, you would have said, what are you talking about? Well, you know, there's certain things go in certain drawers. And the winter stuff needed to be moved to the back and the summer stuff needed to come forward, all of that stuff. And then there was stuff I just didn't like anymore and what have you. So now I've got a bag of clothes that I need to give away and I've got a straightened out dresser. How long did that take me? Fighting myself over doing something like that and putting off that's part of the defeat. But when you do it and you get it done, you feel victorious about the accomplishment. You know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, just something that little or something big like quitting smoking or making a decision that you're going to go all in with your exercise, or you're going to go buy a house, or you're going to end a relationship or begin one. All of these things are defeats and victories all the way. I mean, this is how we can look at things because it helps us to create patterns and to create behaviors that will help us to get into the victory lane and take a lap versus always finding ourselves in the place of being defeatist. You know, that doesn't help. Being defeated all the time can become a habit and can become a pattern. Whereas shifting it up and changing it and being victorious becomes a new habit. And that feels so much better, doesn't it? Now, I believe the word voluptuous is missing an important component. A big time perfect component. I believe that voluptuous oftentimes is either highly sexualized or shamed. and that it's not loved up and given the proper due that it's given. Back in, the Renaissance period, when they were painting these big voluptuous women, laying, prone on these fainting couches with grapes and flowers and, all this, and their bodies were quite voluptuous. It was a mark of beauty. That's why they did that. It was this beautiful women that they had there. And the thing that we've got come to this is this Jessica Rabbit cartoonism when it comes to this voluptuous body and getting Brazilian butt implants and big boob implants and using waist trainers to get impossibly skinny waists, all this stuff going on. I mean, I watch all these things and watch these trends, and it's all part of what I believe is the carousel of crazy, the diet culture and the insanity and all the goofiness that's going on there. But we don't all look like that, right? We don't all look like cartoon characters, and most of us haven't had that kind of plastic surgery to attain cartoon figures. But some of us have been shamed. Some of us have been shamed, and I'm going to just say right now, if I've ever shamed anybody, if I've said that anymore, if I've said anything that has ever made you feel ashamed of yourself, then I humbly ask your forgiveness. That's not my intention at all. I want to see you live your very best life, your very best life. And, I'm kind of in this place of making a decision about the size of your jeans and all this other kind of stuff and the striving for and all of that. And I think what we need to be striving for instead is a good body image of ourselves and acceptance of where we are, number one, always, and two, making sure that it's about our blood tests, because our blood tests are the markers. The blood tests are what's telling us how we're doing. And if we have a doctor who says, and you know what would really help, then follow that lead. But I'm really tired of all the shame that's being dealt out so generously, voluptuously, if you will. I'm tired of all of it. And I'm tired of seeing women feeling shamed about their bodies and feeling like when they get to a certain size, here's my before and here's my after, then I'll be okay. And the fact is, we have the right, two things, you can be where you are, and you can also be the after picture too, and you can still be proud of yourself and still love yourself. And to me, that's part of a voluptuous love that we need to have for ourselves. That's how we live victoriously. That's how we vigilantly guard against shame. That's how we step into our very best selves. We can't do that. We can't live vibrant lives unless we accept ourselves for every curve, for every breast sag and stretch mark and all the rest of it. For heaven's sakes, loving ourselves where we are right now is where it's at, because there's victory in owning yourself. There's victory in being, in loving yourself for where you are. I've shared this story so many times, and I just shared it on Full Bloom, but it took me by surprise because I spent so many years shaming myself. I wasn't worthy of even a new bra. I wasn't worthy of any decent clothes. Nothing fit. Buttons were stretching, and I'd wear, men's shirts and what have you. It was crazy how much I believed I wasn't worth a new pair of pants. That's the mindset, and that's the carousel of crazy, and that's the stuff that I'm fighting against, and that's the thing that I want to take down. That's the carousel of crazy. Shaming yourself and believing until you get to a certain place that you're not enough, that you're not good enough, and then that you're not worthy of loving yourself. But I'm going to tell you what, when you do begin to own your voluptuous self vigilantly, victoriously, you get to walk from the place of shame to the place of victory. That's all there is to it. That acceptance, that radical acceptance of all the things, all of it. Now that is where you get to go to the place of saying, I am enough. And from that place of saying, I am enough, you get to do all the little work and the fine tuning and everything. And it gets, because you're off the carousel of crazy. You're no longer doing all the crazy things. You are instead interested in your health. You are instead interested in building your body and giving your body what it needs. There's no denying science that our bodies have they're just really simple creatures to understand in some ways, because food is information. It's either going to negatively impact you or positively impact you. There's no such thing as a neutral food, so that's easy, right? Black and white. That's easy. But we have to be in the place of understanding that the acceptance of where we are, who we are, and all of our foibles, warts and all, has to be put into the equation right now. And it's not about your genes. It's not about your lipstick dyes. It's not about any of this stuff. It's about how good you feel in your own skin. You got to be there for that. You got to celebrate your own skin. You got to celebrate every little tiny inch of you, or every big inch of you. You got to celebrate your bigness. You've got to accept and love those great big boobs of yours, and your butt, and your thighs, and all the rest of it, and your belly. Love it. When we love it, when we accept it, when we become enamored with the fact that this body is a miracle, because it is. This body can do anything because it can. And I want to take ultimate care of it and feel as best I can in it. Then guess what? That's when you cross over. That's when you get off the carousel of crazy and you begin to live your vibrant life, because that's the path. It's all lit up like that, taking responsibility for yourself. Now, if you say, you know what, but I wouldn't mind losing a few pounds. I get it. When I walked into that dressing room and the woman gave me the bra to put on, because I was still wearing a nursing bra with my teenage kids at home, because I wasn't worth it, that was the moment when I bought a matching bra set. And as a matter of fact, I had somebody sent me a testimonial that I went out and bought a matching bra set. She said, I'm size 24. And I went out and did. I'm just like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Go get it, right? Accept and love. Accept and love. Accept and love every inch of yourself. Because my God, woman, and I'm telling you right now, if this is you, you're worth it. You are worth it. You're worth the panties and the bra. You're worth some new clothes. You're worth loving yourself. You are worth it. And you know what? When you do, then you accept that you are enough right now. That's victory. That's from shame to victory, and that's huge. And when you vigilantly hold on to this and not start flirting again with the carousel of crazy, not looking at another guru to give you a new diet that's going to save you so you can go into stick figure land, then you know what? When you do this, then you live a life that is decorated with vibrancy. It's on your feet. It's all around you. And you feel good in your own skin. I don't care what size you are. I don't. You know what I care about? I care about the numbers that are on your blood tests, because I want you to feel good. I care about the fact of all of this, that you say to me, I feel good in my skin. Whatever size you are, great. Because that's what it's about. That's what it's all about. And so being curvy and rounder in this stick figure world, we see these women walking around with these ridiculous, impossible figures. And listen, that doesn't come naturally, enhanced digitally. I mean, come on. We get to shift to this world of vibrancy, though, when we understand that, even all around us, even with all of that stuff, we get to live in this place of victory simply by accepting, simply by owning and being responsible for our own selves. And let's start to take a look off the genes and start to look instead onto those blood tests. Because if you've got inflammation, I'm going to tell you to eat an anti-inflammatory diet. If you've got high blood sugar, I'm going to say, let's bring it down. This is what you need to do. all of this. And then let me just tell you something. If you say yes and you're going after that, and then you just say, you know what, Leanne, I really want to get into I want a single digit size for a pair of jeans. I'll say, go for it, sister. I will. But we're focused first on accepting ourselves victoriously, vigilantly, voluptuously. Your voluptuous self, your beautiful voluptuous self, made in the image of God, the apple of God's eye, fearfully and wonderfully made, magnificently made, on purpose, for purpose. Yes, you in all your voluptuousness, all of it. Allow for it. Accept who you are. Create a love fest around you with yourself. You know, I told you my Lane Bryant story, but you know, this whole thing, that whole thing was a change, such a change. It flipped every switch in me. I absolutely 100% accepted myself. I stopped beating myself up. I stopped practically, I'd go to the gym and kill myself. I would starve myself. Then I would binge. And then I would eat in secret. And then I would do all these things. And I was hell bent on this destructive path. And that's all I could think about. That was that was everything in my head. What a waste of a life. And then when I sat there in that dressing room with that new bra on and a bunch of matching clothes and spent hundreds of dollars with my credit card, never done that before. You know what? There was a switch that flipped that will never flip back again. Accept and love yourself right now, who you are with what you've got. And then if you make a decision, you know what? I want to be an athlete. I want to lose. You know what? I do want those size 8 jeans or whatever. I do want to do this. Good. Great. But if you say, I'm really pleased with where I am, my blood tests are great and I feel good, then I say, great, celebrating you. And I'm always going to celebrate you as long as you're taking care of you, And that's the thing I'm always going to bring. Come back and pull you in and say, take care of yourself. Love yourself enough, enough to eat for a healthy life. That's all it is. There's no food shaming. It's just what works, what doesn't. That's all. It's really simple. And that's when we get to that place of simplicity, that's when we can figure out how to do this. So this is how I've got 5 things on how to vigilantly love your voluptuous self victoriously. You ready for this? Number 1, you got to accept yourself. And accepting yourself, I've had people say, well, how do you do that? It is a decision to accept yourself. You know what? You might look in the mirror and go, oh, but this in a bathing suit, oh boy, what about my thighs? What about this? What about my belt? Blah, 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 blah. What about it? And I will just say to you, what about it? Now is the time to radically accept yourself. When you do, then from that point of decision, then you have a place to work from. You no longer have to get sucked in to all the crazy thinking that you're not worth enough, that you shouldn't even have a new bra and panties, that new clothes aren't worthy for you, and that when you do, then you'll be worthy. All that crazy thinking, starving yourself, working yourself to death, then binging and going on this carousel of crazy, looking for another guru who's going to fix you this time because she's got the perfect diet. I know I'm not alone in this. I know I'm not alone in this. I did this. I spent most of my adulthood doing this. And this is why I am going to remind you continually who you are. Made on purpose and for purpose, the apple of God's eye. Magnificently, fearfully, wonderfully made. You got to hear this because he's not up there going, oh, Leanne, if you could just get it together, then I'm going to love you. Then I'm going to accept you. No, he's saying to you, Accept yourself right now, because boy, oh boy, do I accept you just how you are. Doesn't he love you up like that? Can you imagine? Can you think about anything greater than the love that God has for his children? The love you have for your children? You think about that. And he's not up there going, oh, well, if you were in a pair of size 8 jeans, we might talk. Right now, just don't even approach the throne, girlfriend. No, you're the daughter of a king. Accept yourself right now, today. Now, if you need to hear this, give me some pinkies up, because I'm telling you, there are so many women right now living in shame, not accepting themselves, not loving themselves, not thinking thinking they've got to wait until they get to an acceptable place, sitting in the nursing bras and their ugly clothes because they don't think that they are worth spending anything on. Oh my gosh, you're worth this entire world. Just you. Come on, let's start thinking in terms of who we are. That radical acceptance is everything. Number 2, reconnect to yourself, will you? Don't we divorce ourselves from ourselves? Don't we? Have you noticed that? We just kind of, well, I've got this and I've got that, and then we don't take a second to even think about our appearance. We don't want to look in the mirror. We just kind of avoid it. We don't take care of our skin. We don't take care of our anything. I mean, we bathe and what have you, but we're just not doing it because we don't think we're worthy of tender care. We don't think that we're worthy of a little bit of fluff and stuff, getting your hair done, go get your nails and your toes done and do something for yourself. That self-care is a reconnection. It's saying, yeah, okay, there's my body, because we block it off. We don't see it. Sarah says, stop waiting. That's exactly right. Stop waiting. Reconnect with her, because who you are is heart, mind, body, and soul. It's time to stop body shaming yourself. Self-compassion, exactly, darling. Yeah, and I just say stop the divorce, stop it. We don't want you to break up with yourself. We want you to reconnect with yourself. Who you are. You know who you are. You know why you're here. You know that it's for such a time as this, you were deemed to be here right now in this place. Start connecting with that and your body and who you are inside. Because all that connection, that helps you to step into that vibrant life that you want. Use your tools, for heaven's sakes, for this radical acceptance. Journal, buy a cheapo journal and start writing in there. Set your goals, get yourself a journal, get your Take Back Your Life journal. Maybe it's not a Take Back Your Life journal for you. Maybe you're going to take this and say, I want my life. You're going to take that off and put, I want my life. Okay. You got to start, though. You got to start, set goals for yourself, have a vision for yourself, see what it is that you want and connect with that. Connecting yourself, heart, mind, and body and soul. When you connect, that's when things start to dial in. Wear clothes that are cute. I'm sorry, but when you wear just like ugly, baggy, icky clothes that you hate, it's not self-expression. It's self-loathing. Allow yourself to put something on that makes you feel good. The color that you need, that you love. A neckline that makes you feel like, oh, I like the way this. I always like V-necks personally, because I feel like it's a good with my broad shoulders, as my broad shoulders are sitting there with my bra straps hanging out. But you know what? It's time. It's time to take on a little thing. Buy a little makeup or some lipstick, or get your hair done. Buy some earrings. Do something that says, you know what? Right now, today, you look just great. I'm going to get something for you. Not waiting until then. Do something like that. I'm double dog dare you. Pinkies up. And number 5 is celebrate your enoughness. When we celebrate our enoughness, we celebrate with right now. We don't wait. We don't put, we don't wait until our goals. Our goal is Radical acceptance of who we are and loving ourselves. You're not schlumpy, Lisa. We're not doing schlump anymore. Yeah, schlumps, in the name of, listen, we do things in the name of comfort. I'm always pretty much in yoga pants and a tank top, and I put a bra on to come on here today. But I'm going to get, I'm exercising back and forth. But on Thursday night, we've got people coming over for wine and charcuterie board, But you think, but let me just tell, I'm going to be totally not looking like this, I'm not that I look terrible. I'm not saying that I don't. But I'm not going to have my exercise clothes on. I'm going to have real clothes on, actual real clothes. The point is, we celebrate our enoughness simply by what we think about ourselves, how we dress for it, how we present ourselves, how we speak about ourselves in our heads and out loud. And just the fact that we reach out. I did side note that. When we reach out to others and or we shrink back, is all about how we connect with ourselves and with each other. Right, Debbie, you are worthy. You are worthy. And Lisa, you're lovely. You're lovely. I want you to see yourself that way. You're beautiful, accepted, the apple of God's eye. I mean, can it get better than that? It really can't. And that's why I'm asking you to connect to all of this. Your voluptuous self, vigilantly, victoriously living a vibrant life. This is how it's all about, right? This is how it's all about. This is what it's all about. Connect with this, will you? Connect with this and love yourself up. Loving yourself allows you to also radically love others. It gives us an open door. And it makes life so much fun, so much juicier, so much better. You're enough. Always, 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 and forever. I'm glad you needed this, Lucy. I needed this. We need to hear this stuff more often, don't we? It's just crazy what the carousel of crazy is. And it will suck us in. So if you want to get off and you want to live a vibrant life, start here with these 5 things. You got it? Thanks for joining me today. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.